everyone, we're going to evaluate the given integral in inverse sine of x dx, and we're using integration by parts. So we'll get started, and we're going to use this formula here. So we need to set up u and dv, and we're going to use this mnemonic device to determine how to choose u. So the first thing we come up with is the inverse. So we're going to use that. So our u is going to be inverse sine of x, and dv is everything else, which all we have is dx here. And then so the derivative of u is going to be 1 divided by square root of 1 minus x squared dx, and then your antiderivative of dx is just going to be v, or x, sorry. So now we can fill everything out. So let's do that. This equals, to save time, this is going to be called our integral. So that's going to equal u times v. So I'm going to write x times inverse sine of x minus the integral of x times, or v times du. So that's x divided by 1 minus x squared dx. So we're almost done. We have to find the antiderivative of this. And the best way to do that is to let's let t equal 1 minus x squared. I'm just changing the variables here to say it, let you know it's different than our u's and v's here. And so our derivative of t is negative 2x dx. And if you want, let's go ahead and move this dx up top here, because it really goes in the numerator. So we need to solve for x dx. And so we need to solve for that. So x dx equals 1/2, or negative 1/2 dt. So now we can substitute. So we're going to substitute here. And the numerator is going to be negative 1/2 dt, and our denominator is going to be t, because that equals t to the 1/2 square root. So I can rewrite this as t, I'm going to write negative 1/2 t to the negative 1/2 dt. And now all I have to do is find the antiderivative of this. So basically what we want is, if we're just looking at, I'm just going to write negative 1/2 here, and I'm just going to look at this piece here. So to do that, that's going to be 2t to the 1/2. All right, so you have, when you simplify that, you're just going to get t to the 1/2, because negative t to the 1/2. And we still have this negative in front, so that's going to end up being positive. So our final answer is going to be x sine times sine inverse of x plus, now, because these two negatives make a positive, t to the 1/2 power. And now let's substitute that back in. You know that 1/2 is square root, so this is all going to equal x, to a different color again, x sine, or inverse sine of x, plus 1/2 is square root, and our t was 1 minus x squared. And don't forget to put the plus c So plus c. I'm running out of room here. So I can write it again here. X sine inverse of x plus the square root of 1 minus x squared plus c. And that is your final answer. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.